everyone. Please come on to make sure everything's set on up. Set everything's booting on up. Rumble is going. YouTube is going. Twitch is going. Twitter's going. Let's get everything's going. A moment from the live chat windows. Hopefully this week everything works fine enough, because last week it just didn't, my internet did not want to work, but that appears to be all good. And looks like my other computer seems everything's good, so let's go ahead and get started. Greetings everyone, and Great here for another Advanced Wars by Web, or Days of Ruin Tiny Wars replay. So on the north side as the red Snowwind, we got Evil Ange. So on the bottom side as the blue Gage, we got Jean Bat 13. When it comes to these two COs, Snowwind's a custom CO. She's, I always like to call, the Paratrooper CO. Standard board and cost 1 raise, 30-60-60. All units get 1 health recovery at the start of each turn, and ammo and fuel recovery as well. Not materials. Air units get plus 30, and first infantry units gets 4 deployed to your location. So imagine that being just paratrooped on in from the said air unit. Howdy. Hopefully this week it doesn't have my internet crapping out. For the power, she has both a power and superpower. She's a choose one situation, both cost 60 energy. All units, of course, get the 1 health recovery, fuel and ammo recovery. All units get plus 30, and fire off a black bomb at target location. Superpower allows for the health recovery, offense and defense for the air units, and able to deploy all ground and air units to your CO. Gage is, of course, buffed from the cartridge counterpart, has standard board and cost 2 radius, 30-60-60. All units get the standard plus 10, but instead plus 20 defense. Indirect units get additional 25% firepower, air indirect units and naval units, and the CO unit himself gets additional 20% firepower. Superpower, all that is applied globally, and indirect units get plus 2 indirect range. This map is a 3-base map, 1 airport. We do also have a recon that has no fuel. Snowwind's CO unit can recover it, maybe CO it at the HQ. Snowwind's also a CO that she can go for a cheaper unit. Oh, do we make it over an hour today? Hopefully my internet doesn't crap out. But as I'm trying to say, Snowwind can easily resupply the recon, no problem. Bike and infantry. Additionally, there is a pair of seaports, just primarily for income. Additionally, there's a seaport here, but surrounded by shores. We're going to go for brown water ships, no blue water ships. But likely, you will probably be eyeing for a teacup to get over there. Gage, of course, is the indirect specialist. There's a decent number of mountains to support that. A missile could be useful against Snowwind's CO unit if she gets loaded up into an air unit. Comp tower being claimed by both sides. And we do have an early tank developed by Gage. Since his CO unit gets additional plus troops and firepower, it doesn't really matter what it gets loaded up on. Though his artillery will be supercharged. Still get a little bit difficult to actually get a CO unit to fire, CO artillery unit to fire upon something. Oh, we do actually have a gunboat flowing fuel. How much are gunboats again? Are they more expensive than teacup, or are they actually the same cost? I actually can never remember their cost. We do have gunboat. So let's take a shot down there. It's tank on top of the HQ, so likely be sealing it. Bike sealed there. And we could be able to deploy an infantry unit. Gunboat is 6,000, so it is more expensive than T-Copter. Does forward deploy mech there. Tank. CO's tank. 9 energies there. So it is more expensive than going for T-Copter, but T-Copter would be pretty off the side, but still be a bit more usable. And of course, the problem is also Gunboat does not have gun, only torpedoes, so can't fire upon land. Good shot there. Does take out infantry there. Snow's at the 5 infantry. Does not resupply the recon there. Her command bike could go down, but will be sacrificing this tank there. There will be a mech and tank in the waiting. And if Gage really wants to throw his tank, take a shot from this side. Does take a CO unit there. Takes a shot against the mech. Very good. Lost a good power charge there. This artillery can get in the CO zone if it gets +1 radius, which is pretty easy. Just needs 1 more energy. The CO tank will likely not go down next turn, but will definitely take a beating. Battlecopter, double bike, and an infantry unit there. Does get the CO energy charge there. CO's the tank there. Gets a good shot there. Double taps the tank. Thanks to the force providing 3 defense stars, able to withstand the assault, but barely. This infantry unit can be shelled quite significantly. Take a shot there. Falls back. Could have used the artillery to take out that infantry unit there. Got another tank here. So got 2 artillery set on up, ready to fire. Could potentially broke on through this 5 health infantry, but will only be able to project onto 1 of these artillery units in return. $39 energy versus 4. Just goes ahead and rotate around a little bit. Got a nice escort of mechs. Tank, mech, and tank. Artillery advance, tank advance. Get some power charge there. 49 energy. Does take a shot down the bike down south. Battlecopter. Gunboat infantry. Bike and infantry. Does take a shot there. Probably going to be forward deploying mech into the mountain side. The wall is flimsy, but is holding, because not being under threat. The mechs don't really have high mobility. There are a number of tanks there, but the mechs don't have good mobility. Slow creeping the walls. Only 2 artillery. And looks like keeps the tank on top of the city to get some more health regen. Goes for another artillery, bike, and bike. Does take out that unit there. 15 capture progress. So next turn it will capture the property. Get some good shots there. And looks like Gage will be able to deploy out his superpower next turn. It's probably a good idea to go for it. Have the infantry unit take out the mech. That should be able to take it out in 1 shot. And then you get some boosted artillery with increased range. Right now, Gage is at 91,000. Yeah, I think he's going to pull his superpower this turn. Does not. Suppose if your units does take the bike there. Pops superpower a little bit late. Takes a strike against that tank. Of course, gets plus 20% defense global, not to mention plus 10% firepower. Tank, and bike. Anti-air up here, which is more than plenty to deal with the battlecopter and the 1 health infantry. Over here, Gauge is a little bit weak, but does have Battlecopter to ruffle about. Battlecopter does hit Battlecopter. The extra defense did come in handy. Hits the artillery, both of them. He has another artillery in reserve, which can take out the 3 health tank. Capturing up a number of these properties over here. 22 versus 22 at the moment, so they're still pretty even. We got 1 property, 2 properties despicably neutral. CO's Battlecopter, anti-air infantry. Gets a 3 health tank. Joins those artilleries together. This command tank will be likely go on down. Does get that tank there. Hits that tank, which managed to, maybe we won't lose the command tank. Good amount of strikes there, up to 40 energy. Tank, anti-air, and tank. Joins all the mechs. Tank does strike the infantry there. Battlecopter, CO Battlecopter gets a good strike on the Battlecopter. Takes out another Battlecopter there. The Battlecopter goes down up to 19 energy. There is a lack of anti-air in the center. This one is going to be out of range of stuff. That's a deep siege shore tile. Or not shore, deep sea tile. Battlecopter, bike, tank, and forward deploys a mech. Gets a good shot there. Anti-air advancing. Artillery strikes a mech. 59 energy, so he could pull out superpower this turn. Pops it. Strikes the bike there. Goes for a duster. Tank. This is meant for air supremacy in the center. We want to hit that anti-air. If he takes out the anti-air, then the duster has full rain. No way there wasn't a confirmed kill on Gauge there. Not sure what we're referring to. Sorry, I wasn't paying close enough attention. Mech does strike the tank there, hits the tank there. Tank does hit anti-air. Battlecopter's causing severe issues for Gauge right now. Right now they're pretty even value at the moment, but Snowwind's pushed pretty aggressive in the center. Duster is definitely needed. The anti-air needs to be hit hard. And Snowwind's up to 39 energy. Maybe that's right, Gauge needs out a missile. Does the anti-air, effectively knocking out, joins the tanks together. Takes out the command copter that eliminates the threat of a CO power. Good shots there, joins the tank there. Tank, Battlecopter. 9,000 funds remaining. Tank and infantry. Tank hits tanks, COs the anti-air. Anti-air falls back, hits the anti-air, strikes the meteorites, you monster. They're poor and defenseless rocks. Anti-air double tank. Tank gets tagged a little bit, down to 2% HP. Which is equivalent to 2% fat milk fat. Another meteorite gets struck. Does take out the mech there. Tank hits tank. CO tank does take out regular tank there. Regular tank hits anti-air. Battlecopter gets shot down. It's the infantry on the city. Battlecopter gets some good strikes there. Battlecopter heading up north. Tank heading up north. And Gauge trying to capture these cities up north. Looks like both these will be secured. We're now at 23 for 24 1,000 income. One part still despicably neutral. This one here. Artillery, tank, and Battlecopter, and commits a base skip. Takes out the wounded anti-air. Bike hits bike. Mech hits bike and joins. Tank goes down. Anti-air strikes the duster, knocking out half its health. Snowwood has a pretty good presence center, joins the CO anti-air. Gauge at 50 energy. He could possibly get a CO power this turn. Won't really buff up any of his indirects though. Hits the capturing squad. Takes the capturing squad. Artillery advanced. Takes out the command anti-air. Gage has a superpower, but he's on cooldown. Anti-air here could strike the Duster. Only one health tank to break on through. Joins. Takes a shot there. Gage in turn of 108. Snowman starts off at 83. She's about a full turn behind. Capture a pair of property in the center. 24 versus 24,000 income. CO's a tank. Does not take out that tank there, leaving it down to 1% HP. Does finish off that 1% tank. Tanks blitzing down south. We do have Gage actually now on top of this airport as well, and he will capture it, which could give him proxy aircraft. Maybe wanted to pull out a missile to lock down the airport. You have another Duster on the field. Strafe some of the infantry. Max defense save that infantry unit, even if it's on top of a bridge. Take battlecopter or tank, artillery and tank. Takes on the infantry units there. Destruction artillery. Gage's tank may go down. Artillery can struck. Does strike the artillery. Gage's tank will survive. Has taken beating. Tank, and looks like the pop superpower does strike the anti at the back line. Strikes the mech a couple times. Takes out Snowwind's command tank. Hits the tank there. Artillery strikes the tank there. Will base block himself. Duster strikes the mech once more. Got some anti-airs in the region. Goes for a proxy bomber. And artillery infantry, and he did base lock himself. Hits the artillery, COs another tank, hits the battlecopter twice. They have a scrap in the center. Anti-air, and tank. Tank hits tank, pulls back the CO tank, hits the other tank, battlecopter finishes it off. Will do. Company Heroes 2 will be streamed tomorrow as well. I think somebody submitted a couple of replays of me for Company Heroes 2 as well. I need to take a look at the emails. Saw them during work. Haven't had time to respond to them after work. I do know one thing. I need to turn on the heat in my apartment. It went from 70 degrees on Sunday, now it's below freezing. I think it's like 21 degrees. A lot of vehicles hit. Duster gets struck. A lot of good hits there against Gage. I think he deleted whatever unit that was. Another anti-air there. Another proxy bomber. Oh, there's always a live stream. You can always watch it later. Tank hits tank. Duster falls back, joins the Dusters together. Battlecopter hits the CO tank, does join the units there. Tank hits tank. Does hit the mech there, bombs the tank. He can go for another proxy bomber. Also, if not proxy, no, wait, there's a Duster there. Artillery tank. Not a problem, thank you. Anti-air gets CO'd up here, gets a lot of good power charge, 20 power charge. Speaking of power charge, Gage has enough for a superpower now. Tank, and anti-air. CO tank does attack. Picks off a large number of units there. Bomber does strike the tank. Oh, delete some infantry units there to deny the power charge. Remember, you can quickly delete units by holding down Alt F4. Pike. Guess you forward deployed infantry unit. Right now, gauge at 26,000 for 22,000 does occupy the airport. CO powers. Artillery gets, of course, the extra range. Infantry trying to capture the properties. Battlecopter. Rocket infantry. And commits another base skip. Right now, oh, aircraft carrier. I think that may be a surrender. Tank infantry. Or maybe it's a plan. Seaplanes are nice and all, but I don't know if it's going to be super great now. Capture multiple properties, 29,000 versus 15 or 19,000, so she can afford a seaplane per turn. To be fair, Snowwind seaplanes are pretty nice as well. She definitely needs to start capturing some of these properties over there. It looks like free real estate. It's free real estate. It's been a while since I last used that meme. Got a missile. The missile know where it's at, or know where it's not. War tank. 4 deploys infantry there. Could have done 4 deployed around top of the mountainside or on the plains. He could have put it on top of his own war factory or his own factory and base lock this one by deploying it there. Perfect. Rocket, tank, and mech. Does capture the airports and no longer has to worry about proxy bombers. Seaplanes are being summoned. Members, well, the seaplane can be launched to the HQ and CO'd at the HQ. Of course, let's have to be careful about dusters in missiles. No anti-airs in the field, is there? Does strike another poor defenseless meteorite. And looks like I got a anti-air tank and finalize the temporary airport here. Snow is not back in the game just yet, but it's definitely gotten very quiet. Gauge has 0 energy at the moment. Snowwind could get a lot of power charge after all. Her first attack could give her +1 radius. Assume she secures a kill. Probably have to strike the infantry unit with the anti-air. Starting to catch up the comm tower here. Seaplane could intercept that. Once again, strikes another poor defenseless meteorite. It did nothing wrong. Just fell from the sky. We do have a fighter, bike, and bike. And there's +1 radius. Get some good shots there. 39 energy. War tank gets a shot there. Tank gets a shot. Of course, some of these units are going to be ranged for some artillery. Strikes the unit on top of the comm tower. 3rd seaplane. Now docked. Infantry and infantry. War tank's been struck. Bomber eliminates it. Right now, Snowden probably needs the black bomb superpower. Pops his own superpower. Strikes a missile strike. Yeah, there goes everything. Yep, I think at this point in time, Snowden's now officially has lost. Build seaplanes without launching the first one. Yep. Now, the best argument to say not to launch it is the fact that seaplanes has very little fuel. And got, I think the last seaplane now produced. CO unit charged by 4, bomber nukes the infantry. Duster strikes seaplane. Fighter sorties onto a seaplane as well. Oh, Angie's one of those never resign players. Got it. I remember PP Poo Poo and his follow-up name, Mr. Swallower, let's just say. He's also a player that never resigns. Unless, is Evo on also PP Poo Poo? Some players just don't resign. For me, it's like, you're just, if you're going to lose, just resign. You're wasting your time as much as you're wasting your opponent's time. Think tank mech. And deletes the aircraft carrier. I mean, I suppose the aircraft carrier could have stayed there and fought against aircraft. Superpower activated there. Missile strikes. Does take out infantry unit there. And battleship. Yeah, no, there's a resign button. You have to press 2 buttons, like I said, Alt F4. And that's the end of the replay. This is Angrade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Before I get started next replay, I do need to use the restroom. Please give me a moment. Apologies, I am back. Let's see now. Not that one. I keep on, it's by habit I hit Alt Tab to bring up the other windows. Even though this is not exactly one where you have a locked mouse. It's just by habit. I just Alt Tab to another window. Signs of a true gamer. Here we go. So, let's go ahead and get started. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Advanced Wars Days Ruin Tiny Wars replay. Spawn on top left side as the blue penny. We got Buster Beachside. Spawn bottom right side as the dark gray gauge. We got Dr. Dunkelsenstein. Or Steen. Dog. I'm not sure why you type dog. Oh! My background. This is this is the actual official background used for a lot of passport screens for the United States Air Force. So if you want to log into a website or things that sort, that is actually the official background they use, and I had to grab it. Either way, when it comes to the COs, Penny has been buffed from the cartridge counterpart, has standard boarding cost, 3 radius, 30, 60, 60. All units are not affected by weather. All units in CO zone gets additional plus 15% offense, plus 10% defense, and of course with superpower, turn random weather for 3 turns. Penny is a top-rated CO. Spawn as Gage is also buffed from the cartridge counterpart, has standard boarding cost, 2 radius, 30, 60, 60. All units get additional plus 10, plus 20, so in total for the regular CO zone, 5% extra stats. Indirect units get additional plus 20% offense, and CO unit himself gets plus 20% offense. Or his superpower, plus 2 maximum range for indirects. Double bike. This map you do start off a handful of properties, so you're immediately able to start building bikes. And of course bikes. Not big surprise. More bikes. Sort of reminds of Command & Conquer Kane's Wrath, and of course Type Dibor's 3. This bike's ready. Got bike and double infantry. And there's also the Command & Conquer General's GLA bike. Artillery infantry and commits a base skip. Will you CO that artillery? It's generally probably better for Gage to be CO'd into a regular tank. A lot more flexibility. Tank infantry and commits a base skip. He may CO the artillery, but I don't think that's be a good call overall. But I more than understand if he does. He does. Says in total now this artillery gets what, plus 50% firepower? Yeah, plus 70% firepower. It fires miniature nuclear warheads. Tank moves on top of the HQ, so likely to be CO'd next turn. Number of bikes up here. So Gage may need to push forward his artillery and then get some shots off his bikes, but he will need some reinforcements. Goes to the bridge. I wonder if he has a bridge to sell me. Tank, infantry, infantry. Pulls back that bike there. Tank is ready for reinforcements. There actually could have been an argument to say go for a recon here to help assist with the anti-infantry duty. So go for tank, recon, and infantry. He had enough funds for that. Just enough. Of course, he does double tap this bike here, but one thought gets shelled. Yep, easy one shot. I'm guessing that one's at 7 energy, so that gave him a nice bit of power charge. Gage has 17 properties versus 14. And Penny Blue capture up 1 next turn. And 4 props still despicably neutral, so this city here and this city here. Tank heading his way up north. Anti-air. Bike and bike. Battlecopter ruffling its way up north. Artillery advance up north. There should be enough screen to protect it. 7 energy there, so he's all up to 20 energies. Artillery, artillery, and infantry. Tank, and bike. Artillery is advancing. Battlecop heading down in the center. Do have anti-air in the region. And with the tank heading over here, the anti-guards simply just blitz directly towards the battlecop to start zoning it out. Won't be able to get into range of artillery, but we do have tank and double artillery now. Got a nice bit of wall there. Double tank, triple tank, another tank here. So it looks like Penny maybe trying to push down the center. Penny only has 9 energy at the moment. Also, there's not been too many fights this entire game. It's been quite bloodless for the most part. Artillery is covering the edge of this bridge, so able to get some good damage there. Penny can't really advance towards over here. Of course, bridges are natural choke points. Tank. And infantry. Gauge at 19,000 versus 15,000 income. So the longer the game goes on, the better Gauge will be at. Right now, feels like he has pretty good control in most parts of the map. Penny should probably just start heading down south. There's a bigger flank here to advance for all the armor. Battlecopter, bike, and infantry. Interrupts the capture. Couple good artillery placements there. He has a good front line here. Tank, artillery, anti-air. Yeah, right now Gauge has good coverage on the flanks, but not in a position to advance. Penny has a force to be aggressive with, and she is being with it now. Just that the position for Gauge is pretty good. Does manage to strike the artillery, hits the spike here. The 41 energy, 47 energy. All the power charge he's going to get this turn. Gotta keep out of range of these artillery here. But the only thing that really poses a threat to this region is push force tank, of course. Battlecopter, tank, bike. Right now, I think whether Penny would like to get is probably rain. Right now, rain does best in not fog of war games. Sandstorm's always pretty nice. And snow would be quite helpful to slow down Gauge's move speed, but I think snow's the least useful out of the three at the moment. Gauge honestly should get out at least one flare, maybe two, just because of the possibility of rain. He needs flares to see into the rain. War tank, infantry. Penny has now superpower. Sandstorm, a very powerful one. Minus 30% firepower global. Not to mention she gets plus 15, plus 10% global this turn as well. Effectively a plus 40% or a 40% offense versus defense difference in this turn. So Gauge won't be able to do much, and we'll have trouble doing more additional actions after that. Sandstorm's brutal, because it's basically 3 turns of a superpower. Does take out the bike there, or tank there. Tank, bike. That was 6 shots there, trying to secure another property. Right now they're even 17 versus 17. This property was captured by Penny in the center. This flank is pretty vulnerable, so Penny could try overrunning it. All she has to deal with is a single battlecopter. Only infantry that's really up here, so the bikes can just blitz on and try to capture as many cities as possible. Tank, and infantry. What is this, the last turn for Sandstorm? Gauge that 42 energy. Anti-air. That was the infantry in there. Takes out bike on the flank. Battlecopter is gonna strike there. There's an anti-air way back here and over here. Anti-air heading over here. Bikes push away forward. Yeah. This has to be the last turn for Sandstorm, my bad. Does strike the bike there. Join captures. War tank takes a shot against the battlecopter while it scored more damage. Probably wasn't cost efficient. After all, 3 points of damage on a battlecopter is about 2,700. 2 points of damage onto the war tank is 3,200. So yeah, it was not cost efficient. Medium tank, double infantry. And looks like Penny will manage to break on through up north. Able to get across the bridge. Of course, still got some artillery here. One infantry does fall back to a city. 8 health as well. Tank, bike. Two artillery heading up north, tanks on top of the city. Penny could get a good amount of power charge this turn, that's for sure. She possibly could be able to pull out her superpower this turn as well. A lot of targets are within her CO zone range. And she pops a superpower that could drastically change a lot of math on the field. War tank advanced before, Gage has now his superpower available. Penny's turn. Buys Penny's primary turn in order to turn things around. She is very far behind. CO unit does move around there. It's a good amount of power charge, up to 50 energy. As well, Penny's CO tank is under threat. With superpower, this tank artillery will be in range, and not to mention this 2 health one will also get another shelling on in. Battlecopter, tank, and bike. Pops superpower. Artillery, 2 health artillery does fall back, does strike the CO unit, getting a good amount of damage. Here's the infantry down south. Does get some good strikes up north. Penny should be able to pull out her superpower the next turn. Gage went to turn 154,000 for 116, so about 2-turn advantage. Lose a lot of units there. There's superpower available. Takes the medium tank. It's artillery. More sandstorm. This will greatly reduce all the firepower. Does hit the CO unit. Takes another artillery piece there. Battlecruiser hits the infantry unit there. Picks off a bike. Anti-air tank and bike. Does get some good strikes there. CO unit up to 21 energy. The extra reduced firepower and extra defense global is being very useful, but it may not be enough. Tank. Yeah, you can see the extra defense is keeping these units taking quite a bit more of a beating. Penny could try to start catching some of these cities in the center. This spikes down 20 fuel. Artillery, and infantry. A lot of good hits there. Gage's artillery will go down. Internal capture hits the anti-air. Battlecopter strikes the artillery. Rear tank could join into the 7 health command tank. Tank, bike. Does see the artillery which is heading up north. Tank there. Go strike there. Bike, infantry, and tank. These firepowers are being very useful. War tank down to 2 ammo. Does the bike there. Hits infantry in there. Gains some good power charge. 13. Takes out the anti-air. Battlecopter 6 strike joins the battlecopter together. Takes out the capturing squad. Hits the artillery. Hits the tank twice. Hits the capturing squad there. Battlecopter, bike, infantry. Last turn for sandstorm. Does strike the tank there. War tank does fall back to the city. Full health battlecopter heading over to the left, and Gage doesn't have anything to really stop that battlecopter. His 4 health battlecopter could get some damage on there, but will go down pretty quickly. Got an anti-air tank. Get some cities in the center. Both players got 17,000 income. Tank, bike, bike. Tank does a good strike there on the tank. Gauge's at 19 energy. Penny's at 15. Looks like Penny will be capturing the sister property here. Artillery, double infantry. It drops that capture there. Oh, acid gain to draw. 4% health. That may have been abysmal luck, or maybe it just wasn't close at all. Tank, bike, bike. That was like a seal unit, no problem. Pike, infantry, and not declines the draw, and resigns. This Grade saying thank you for watching, and on to next replay. Let's see, next replay is this one. Greetings everyone, and right here for another Advanced Wars. These are in Tiny Wars replay. Spawn on the north side is the Red Lynn. We got Bench Warmer. Spawn on the south side is Dark Gray Will. We got Inconspicuous. This map does have a free fighter, just need to let it free by destroying a meteorite. Both players do also start off with temporary airports as well, so, and it's also 3 base. I see some column towers, large number of radar stations as well. By the way, when it comes to the COs, both of them are unchanged for the cartridge counterparts. Standard boarding cost, 2 radius, 36-60. All units get +10/+10. Direct ground units get +20% offense and +2 movement. While Lynn, of course, has only 1 radius. Gets the +10/+10. Ground units get +10, 20% offense and defense. And, of course, get see-through hiding places. Nice and simple. Wait, meteors have 30 HP. Good to know. Meteors have 30 HP, so they are easy to break through, so both players effectively have a free fighter. Just destroy the meteorite. And that sign saying meteors have 30 HP is not going away. Oh well. Does that mean if you destroy, if it says that they have 30 HP, if they... Boy, they always have 30 HP if you have shooting them. Indestructible meteors. Either way, just infantry openers on both sides, not a big surprise. Both players have 6,000, 7,000 for 6,000 income, and they could probably go for a bike or 2 this turn. Bike up north. And infantries for the rest. Can I get rid of this? Click on it, doesn't do anything. Oh well. You can always break up the meteorite early and just park the fighter on top of the airport until you actually need to use it. The funny thing is, well... Wait. There's no irregular airport on this map, is there? I just realized there's no regular airport on this map. This map is heretical. There's no airports. So that means that's just going to be a annoying the ass blocker, isn't it? Sure, Greyfield can fly out aircraft with temporary airports. But there's no airport for building aircraft normally. Am I crazy? I'm still used to assume there's one airport, but guess not. So if you break it open quick enough, you can just park the fighter on top of the comm tower. In this case, you don't really need anti-airs. Just ignore the fighter if you can. And does destroy the meteorite there, let loose his own fighter. But needs to get on top of his comm tower before the fighter gets on top of it, forcing a response. Or Len, I should say, not Will. Start catching up those properties there. The fire could just simply pull arc on any property and just deny it. And of course, got an, oops, sorry, I hit my microphone. We do have a nice blocker there with the fighter, then keeping this city relatively secure. Though this is a river, and the infantry unit can fjord the river and leave itself vulnerable. Get some good shots in the central properties. And once again, Will does mimic the Lin there. Will has sealed himself into a medium tank and heading up north now. Artillery, infantry, and tank. Interrupts her own capture there. Getting herself 29 easy energies. And the fighter does go ahead and get in front of the tank. Low on fuel, 33 fuel. Tank, tank, tank. Or tank, tank, and infantry. Fighter does fall back to the temporary airport to get some fuel. We do have a rig deployed in the field for some odd reason for Will. Is he trying to go for 4 temporary airports, or is he just trying to boost infantry? Artillery does strike the medium tank there. Where tank hits tank, it does join the tanks. Another medium tank, this time for Lin. Yeah, which one's gonna be north enough to go for AA? Goes for a mech. Joins the 2 medium tanks. Goes for another medium tank. Fighter heading over to the west. Red pulls back her fighter onto the temporary airport. Infantry hits infantry, infantry hits infantry, gets in range of the artillery. Of course, the tank that parked itself right here is in range of the artillery as well. That may have been a bad spot to park the tank. I don't think it took a shot at anything. And remember as well, ruins only provide 1 defense star. They're no different than planes. They can provide hiding, but this is not fog of war. Rocket. Gets on top of the city there, which also denies the capture as well as block that path. Which will delay the movement of infantry. Tanks can simply just go around. Medium tank, mech, and bike. Gets some good shots there. Lynn's up to 53 energy. Since she only applies her CO zone global effectively in this matchup, she doesn't really have to. She doesn't get any big mobility bonuses like Will, so she can keep hold of her CO zone. Artillery, mech, and tank. Mech does get a shot there. Fighter does hit the fighter. Bit of a dogfight there. Of course, if Gray wants to refuel the fighter now, he will have to resupply it as well, which will cost some monies. Approximately 3,200. Will's turn. Infantry sacks itself, push forward to the medium tank, hits the mech twice, interrupts the capture. Both sides have a good number of medium tanks right now. Mech war tank down south, and infantry over here. Rocket slow to respond, rotating over here. Another war tank by Lynn. Honestly, this fighter could have parked itself on top of this city there. Sure, it may receive a shot from this fighter here, but definitely not. It'd be perfectly fine since it got the first strike. Anti-tank infantry. Do have now a rocket artillery. Looks like Lynn's asking for a draw. Lynn is also ahead, 190,000 versus 175, about a turn ahead, a little bit less. And oh wait, no, that was Will that requests resign. Lynn is declines. They say resign, draw. Yeah, my mind's melted right now. I hate daylight savings, it just screws up my sleep schedule. And if you haven't noticed as well, meteors have 30 hit points. Yep, just got a bit of a stalemate so far going on. Tank, mech, and anti-air. bike, infantry, and war tank. Both players have 23,000 income. Both players have not captured these central properties, so they remain despicably neutral. Good amount of mechs, tanks, medium tanks, and war tanks in this match. Looks like Lynn or Will start up straightforward. Activates superpower, which gives him +2 movement range, very critical. Allows him to stretch on forward. Lynn doesn't need a pop or superpower next turn, just because how large her aura is. And fighter does not engage fighter. Trying to catch some of these props here, but in range the artillery and range the infantry. Yeah, he is blitzing his way forward. He has trouble with the river tile here and the sea tiles. It's causing mobility issues. Not to mention the fighter. Medium tank, tank, and bike. Lynn's turn. She does not necessarily need to pop the superpower. Just gotta be aware with what gauge she takes inner CO zone. Fighter destroy this fighter. Whew. Infantry bike and another war tank. Another war tank down south. Right now, the value between the two players is not too terrible. Lynn still has an advantage. Fighters down to 42 fuel, so plenty of fighter to sortie with. This HQ is somewhat under threat. We'll just bring back the artillery to the city back there. War tank is on top of the HQ. That's going to be a hard lockdown. War tank does strike the medium tank. Mech hits medium tank, hits the infantry unit there. Lynn still has her full 60 energy. Will's medium tank is struck. Royal tank is struck. He's at 23 energy in the moment. Excuse me. I getting hiccups being created. Both these artillery and the rockets going to be in range. But there's just simply too many targets in front of them overall. Mech gets a good strike there on that unit. A-tier actually got summoned. I didn't see that. His infantry unit there. His medium tank there. Hits a pop superpower. War tank takes out infantry unit there. Interrupts the capture of the column tower. Hits the tank there. War tank hits a war tank. Medium tank hits war tank. Infantry finish off unit. Mech finish off unit. Does sack itself. Takes out the bike. Goes to the HQ capture. Wait, is Will actually going to get the HQ capture? I think Will's going to get the HQ capture. I see no way to interrupt it. You have to be relying on this single bike to get 1 point damage. She may need to pop her superpower to get as much firepower as possible. Even then, War Tank can't reach. Pop superpower, she has to. That's 1% more. HQ capture was a 9 health bike. Will was eyeing for the HQ capture. Unable to secure it, goes for a missile. The missile knows that, for knows where it's not. Clearly a play like what Andy would do in one of the Advance Wars 2 missions. Flare and mech. And HQ capture. After a bit of victorious assault. I thought having, like I was trying to say, put the artillery on top of the HQ city to shell the HQ. I thought the war tank on top of the HQ was going to be plenty, but nope. This Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Also, meteors have 30 HP. Before I get started another replay, do you need the restroom? Please give me another moment. I've been drinking a little bit too much fluids at the moment. My apologies, I'm back. Let's see. Yeah, that should be good. 2 new COs. So, let's go ahead and get started. Greetings everyone, and Great here for another Advance Wars by Web or Days of Ruin Tiny Wars replay. Spawn bottom left side as the red The Beast, Jean Bat 13. Spawn top right side as the yellow Isabella. We have a foreign name. When it comes to COs, the Beast is of course technically a custom CO in Tiny Wars. Standard boarding cost, 3 radius, 3660. All units get +10/+10. All special units, which is infantry, mechs, bikes, recons, and flares, get additional +20% offense. Additionally, if any of these special units end their turn on your opponent's property, you steal your opponent's income immediately and you denies it to your opponent. He has both a power and superpower. Pick one. All units get +10/+10. Special units get additional 20% offense, but also get +2 movement and vision range and see through hiding places. And of course, get all the pillaging global, or you can apply, of course, the +10/+10 and special units get +20 offense global, or steal the next 3 turns income immediately from all properties at any turn: your opponents, the neutrals, and your own. So if you want to pay for it with no interest, go right ahead. Isabella is, of course, nerfed from the cartridge counterpart, has standard boarding cost, 2 radius, 3660. All units get +20% offense, +10% defense, and of course get +2 movement and +1 indirect maximum range. She's effectively become Jake from Dual Strike. So let's go ahead and get started. This map is a 3 base map, 1 airport, technically 3 seaports. You only really see at most a gunboat. The waters is traversable, go all the way around, barring around the bases, which has shores, so you can't really get in this inlet unless you apply a temporary seaport. But it's still pretty good. So you somehow get a battleship in the back line, you can start shelling everything, barring the fact that battleships will need something to spot the bases onto themselves. There's also a pair of comm towers in the center of the map, off the side and the corners. Not really contestable, but you still have to secure it. More infantry. Next turn, the beast will have 5,000 income, so you can go for triple infantry next turn. Bike infantry. Isabel next turn will have 6,000 income, so could go for bike double infantry. Triple infantry as predicted. Bike, and commits a base skip. The problem is, well, not only there's a bunch of shores, there's also forests at the end of each pathway, so wheeled units just take a bit of time just to get out of base. So strange enough, bikes are not too particularly fantastic on this map, just good. Recon, ready to reconnoiter, and bike, and commits another base skip. The beast has 9,000 income, so we could go for tank infantry, or maybe recon to CO, maybe a flare to CO. Recon double bike. That recon may be his CO unit. Tank and has 1500, does not go for another infantry there. Doing a lot of base skips. She's at 14 units versus 17 units, so she is down by 3. Does not CO the recon there, could CO the tank. While the beast is more focused on his lighter weight units. It's still always a good idea to go just CO the tank, because it'd just be a good all-rounder unit to CO. Isabel does CO that tank there, has 9,000 monies in the bank, interior infantry, and another base skip. T-Copter mech double infantry. T-Copter is probably meant to catch up the seaport down south as well as the cities off in the corner. Isabella has captured a central city. Both players have 14,000 properties, so make that 15,000 now for Isabella. Battlecopter double infantry. The beast does not have any ATR, so that battlecopter could get some good work done. Maybe a good idea, good turn for him to get his 8 battlecopter in the field. Recon does end its turn top the CO on top of the HQ, so maybe CO next turn. Artillery, infantry, and tank. So the beast is still lacking any sort of anti-air, and it is turn 10. I think in Advanced Wars by Web, it's usually a rule of thumb to go for a anti-air no later than turn 10. Tank, and infantry. If you don't have an anti-air, hopefully have a battlecopter in the field. He has 15,000 monies in the bank, so you could go for a duster. But it's not likely going to happen. He does have this tank scouted out, so you can just keep his tank in lying in wait. It may have spotted being going in there by this infantry unit with this spot in this tile. Battlecopter triple infantry. 30 units versus 21 at the moment. Takes out infantry unit there quite handily. Beast has nothing to counter the tank, the recon, and the anti-air in the bottom right side of the map. Isabella doesn't really have anything to stop the tank and recon up north either. The beast has a lot of targets in front of him. He can get some good power charge going. There's a good shot there. Bike finished off that stud unit. 10 energy for 6 energy. He probably... No, he doesn't have vision of the battlecopter. You can see it's on dark tile. And it's on top of roads. Does not like to be hidden. Or try to do a hidden effect. So the beast may not be aware of the battlecopter just yet. Those battlecopters should be... is in protection range. Tank, and infantry. But so far, while it's in protection range, he has not obtained any protection money just yet. Good shots there. Isabel's now at 34 energy, gets a lot of good hits there. 39 energy. More hits there, 45 energy. She does have vision of the battlecopter, so she realized that she could probably charge for her battlecopter, draw some fires to allow her anti-air to charge forward and take it out. T-copter, tank, anti-air, and infantry. The battlecopter is now definitely within vision range. Battlecopter strikes battlecopter. Tank strikes tank. The beast at 46 energy. 55 energy for Isabella. The beast at 48, so Isabella could blow out her superpower next turn. Which won't be fantastic, just be very nice to say the least. She has nothing to make her capitalize on a superpower up north. And this bottom here, they don't really increase movement range either. She, and nothing for the indirect range. She actually doesn't really need to pull out a superpower next turn, or this turn. And surprisingly enough, she has some of these products still despicably neutral as well. 21,000 income. The beast at 49 power charge. He could get his superpower out next turn. And power charge, active superpower. And look, he ends some turns on his own property, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He did go for Duster, so he has 10 properties, 40,000. The Duster, that's 13, so 53. So he had 53,000 money to spend with. Go for Duster, medium tank, anti-air, and tank. And you can see here, next turn he has 14,000 income out of 22 properties. So he pillaged a lot of his own properties, paid it forward. Wait, he went for a lander? Landers can be nice, particularly for the push forward units. It is going to be quite a bit of investment. He is, basically he loaned himself a lander early. Wonder how much dividends it will provide. Doesn't have to worry about paying interest though. And Isabella goes for a lander on the same turn. She did lose 1 property's worth of income right now. Not too terrible though. Does get trapped there. Good shot there. Does get trapped there. Neck. Tank. Good hits there. Do have a Duster on the field. Does flip Duster now. Nothing to stop it. Meteor's way back here. The Beast is at 1 energy. Does spot the Beast Recon there. And the Beast Recon did spot the anti-air going to the side of the forest. Answer for 135,000, the Beast starts turn 131, so they're still pretty even. Duster hits the Battlecopter, hits the other Battlecopter. Oh, gets trapped there, that's not great. Now got a healthy anti-air and a soon to be 6 health veteran anti-air to hit the Duster. So this also may be going down next turn. Tank and bike. Isabella has enough for superpower this turn. Battlecopter or tank does go down, hits the Duster. Yep, that Duster is definitely going down this turn. Takes off some outlying units. Bike, anti-air, infantry. Hits the tank, Duster falls back. Hits the Recon. Artillery advances to the forest. The Beast at 45 energy. Because the Recon does take out the Battlecopter. The Beast at 56 energy. Good shot there. The Beast now has a superpower available. He could just simply pull back the Recon. It's maybe turn for power rather than superpower to get those mechs blitzed into his opponent's units. Plus swing range on his mechs, additional firepowers would be very nice. Medium tank, tank, recon. Right now Isabella does it 26,000 income versus 22. Hits the bike there. Isabella will not be pulling out superpower this turn. It looks like Isabella's just overall pulling back. Not sure what he was going to eye for his power. Does not deploy it out, which is quite understandable. If Isabella's going to pull back her entire army, might as well not deploy the superpower and reposition. Does hit the tank there. Does not take it out. No superpower just yet. Does take out the tank. Pops the superpower, give her +2 movement range, allowing her stuff to blitz their way forward. Medium tank does the medium tank. Regular tank hits regular medium tank. Regular tank does finish off medium tank. Hits the anti in the back line. Sacks the anti-air onto the mech. As well, the ending turn of 158,000 versus 120, so about a turn advantage. What power or superpower? This is regular power, so movement and seeing. Let's take a tank there, hits another tank there. Hits another tank there, hits the infantry hits the regular tank. With the increased movement speed, he's able, or vision, he's able to scout out through the forest. So don't have to worry about scouting out the forest. Does get some salvage there, nothing too crazy though. T-copters are pretty low on fuel. Infantry, Duster, tank, and artillery. Isabel got called on the 126, so still pretty even at the moment. Oh, I didn't even see that bomber last turn. We also have a rocket finally creeping its way forward. Stops that capture. Tank. Recapture forward, we'll get some good strikes here. Rig is on the field, maybe for a bit of resupply, maybe for a temporary airport. Both would be quite useful. And having a full health Duster right now, and I think that's 3 health Duster gonna fall back to the airport. Whoops. Will be useful engaging that bomber. Medium tank artillery. Anti-air is on top of the HQ as well, so the Beast has anti-air options in play. This well actually has a little bit too many anti-airs in the field. I see 4 here when there's only, what, Dusters, not even battlecopters. Does get some good damage going. I suppose anti-airs will still be useful against the mechs that the Beast has been pulling on the field. As well has another superpower available. The Beast has 6 energy. Tank, infantry, and battlecopter. Medium tank is a good shot there. To finish off the anti-air, Duster strikes bomber. Actually falls back, strikes the battlecopter twice, now thrice. +1 CO zone for the Beast, pulls back. T-copter pushes forward, down to 22 fuel. Tank, and bike. Pops superpower, gain +2 movement range, scout run there from the bike. Artillery waits itself, you monster. Push for the backline stuff. Rocket does get a good strike, does take out a tank there. Hits the artillery, hits the infantry unit there. Bomber takes out a tank. Anti-air will strike the Duster. Takes out a medium tank there. Duster hits does not finish off the recon. Recon down to 1% HP. Anti-air does strike the mech. Infantry blitz around, hits the artillery. Battlecopter strikes tank. That anti-air may need to push up north. It's about uncertain for 176 versus 105. About what? 2-3 turn advantage. She has 30,000 income, which will be 3,000 income. Here's the battlecopter, puts around the anti-air. The Beast at 55 energy. He can get a power charge up this turn, but the recon will need to hit that. Oh, can pull it out. Pops it. Goes for steals money from the twice themselves. One from neutral. So this is a bit of an emergency one. It's 9,000 extra monies, looks like. Missile, tank, and medium tank. Goes to the column tower. This was already 25 energy. Gunboat in the corner, battlecopter, anti-air, and infantry. Not looking forward. Looking great for the Beast. And does resign there. This is Android saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Probably have time for one last replay for tonight. Let's see, I have 2 replays I eyed from this week. Let's see, one is this one, which is 2 different players. Oh look, Calder finally has a minus because he's simply got a nerf, the rework is more close to a nerf than a rework. And oops. I hit a bookmark. The other one we put I is this one. Which I've done Waylon, and Waylon versus Tasha seems like a pretty fun matchup. Let's do this one. Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another Advanced Wars Teaser and Tiny Wars replay. Small on bottom left side as Yellow Waylon, we got Greyfield Guy. Small on top right side as the Blue Tasha, we got Benchwarmer. I say top right and bottom left, but it's more split even. 1 base, 2 base, strong side, weak side mechanic. Though the strong side does have a lot of slow mobility here. Mists on seas, that means it's not traversable by land forces. Airport on the weak side, which is pretty standard. Oh, you think this is going to be a good one? Guess we'll find out soon enough. When it comes to the COs, Tasha's been buffed in the cartridge counterpart, has standard boarding cost, 1 radius, 3660. All units get +10/+10. All air units get additional 40% offense, plus 20% defense, and +2 movement. And for superpower, +4 movement. For Waylon, who's also buffed the cartridge counterpart, he has a reduced boarding cost 30%, 2 radius, 3660. All units get +10/+10. All air units get additional plus 20% off defense and plus 40% defense. Is inverse from Tasha. And for superpower, gets plus 300% defense on air units. Effectively gaming, I think it was like minus 75% damage, gives 75% damage resistance. So offense versus defense air COs. Bike so far, looks like both players who start off with 1 extra property just so they can start spamming bikes. Oh, I suppose the player 2 starts with another property here. Nope, same here. So both players can immediately start producing bikes. Of course, once you get the 3rd base captured, you do start slowing down by pulling out infantry. Double infantry on the weak side. Tasha does go for bike. She can go for nope, double bike infantry. Waylon does have 8,500, so he could go for triple bike. Double bike infantry saves 2,000 monies. Next turn he got 12,000. Let's see, does have the airport, so could go for battlecopter double infantry. Tasha goes for battlecopter, which will result in a triple base skip. Which means maybe Waylon should eye for E tier over here. Because that battlecopter is likely going to be a CO battlecopter and have +2 mobility. A tier on the side of the battlecopter and double base skip for Waylon. Okay. Which means he'll be at 16,000 monies next turn. Battlecopter blitzing over the right side, so probably go for E tier on this side, or Duster. Tank, double base skip, a lot of base skips by Duster. Waylon has 3,000 monies left over to go for double infantry, with at least be 1 base skip. Triple base skip, okay. A lot of base skips. Anti-air. Battlecopter blitzing down south. Is this going to be CO Battle Duster? Yep, we got CO Duster by Wayland. Plus 70% defense, though then again it's on does receive extra defense stars on the airport. No wait, it doesn't. Airports don't provide air defense. I think it was Advanced Wars 2 that had that, but I think by Web and Tiny Wars don't. And got a Duster ready for sortie. So both sides of Duster. And a flare. Tank. Duster heading over there. Anti-air and lurking around. Wait, both players gone for a flare. I had not been paying attention close enough. Got another Duster and bike. This game's getting pretty strange already. A lot of base skips on a lot of Dusters. Ready for dust off, which that's meant for medical transports and air transports. Oh well. Tank bike. It looks like Dust is heading over to strikes the battlecopter course. And maybe nope, does not attack the bike there. Maybe try not to give any power charge to Tasha since her radius is pretty small. That's why he didn't attack the bike, didn't want any power charge bleed in return. That's my guess. It does keep also the bike healthy enough to withstand the flare machine gun, so that's also another reason. Could be a combination too. Either way, looks like a good play by Wayland. Anti-air, battlecopter, bike, and another base skip. We do also have the anti-air here, which could get a strike on the bike. Duster will not be able to one-shot the bike. Does pull it back, sacks the unit there. Anti-air takes a shot. Hits the sacks the unit there. Does not take up the flare. Does take up the flare. Dustin's center now able to loiter and strafe around. Tank over here. Anti-air could sack itself to take out the bike, but would not be a good trade. Tank, and bike. Good shot there. +1 radius. Wayland has this course's anti-air here. Another Duster by Tasha. We're just seeing so many Dusters today. Bike. Takes out the infantry unit center with a flare. And takes the other infantry unit out. Tank does strike tank. Duster can get a shot off on Duster if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, with +2 movement range, definitely can easily circumnavigate. Of course, got this Duster here. Gets a good shot there. This Duster is actually in range of this Duster. Maybe, oops. I hit a button. What turn was that? I've been clicking on a... I've been clicking on my bookmarks. Nope, that was end game. Great. Nope. Yeah, I think it was right here. Battlecopter takes out that tank there. Sorry about that. I've been hitting all my bookmarks lately. And here's before, get some good shots. About will determine where Wayland follows his first fighter, which, yep, right here. Tank anti-air. I couldn't look over my other screen there. The turns I have covered up. Tank. Tank does anti-air. Now completely out of it. Duster does strike Duster. I was trying to say Tasha could have struck that Duster over there. Anti-airs are wounded. Wayland's Duster could strike this Duster here. 47 energy versus 58 energy. Takes out the Battlecopter. Casualty radio station, both players at 18,000 income. They will get all of this air assets with actually not too high of income as well. There's been a lot of base gifts, to say the least. Let's see, Battlecopter. Duster falls back. Tasha's close to a superpower, in which the +4 movement range could allow her to, what's it called, Sonic Boom. By the way, Sonic Boom on prop engine aircrafts. There was actually a US experimental program of asking what happens if you have a prop engine going supersonic. The short answer, I think the US government did succeed. The problem is, just like a whip crack or a sling crack, the props on a aircraft like that was doing about like 900 sonic booms per minute. Which also caused people to get nauseous and have seizures. Apparently there's a sound version of epileptic headaches and seizures, which not involving light, just sound. And also, the pilots who were tasked to fly the said aircraft, who were getting really sick and in a lot of pain and disorienting, had trouble flying in general, said they will shoot their commanding officers if they order them to fly them because it was a danger to their health. So in short, supersonic prop engines is possible, just not a good idea. Yeah, the ground crews were just getting sick around the things, literally. Nope, looks like Dust is actually running low on fuel, 36 and 29. Wayland needs 13 more energy and get out superpower, which could be a good idea. You have his fighter and Duster pursue the Dusters here. Wayland could pull out superpower this turn. Tank infantry battlecopter. Will Wayland go for a superpower this turn? Actually, wait. This is the end as race. No, we can't get superpower this turn. You can get enough power charge for it. But I didn't realize that they didn't overlap. Oh, Wayland's Duster charge away forward. 57 energy. He has enough for a superpower now. Strikes both Dusters. However, anti-air's in range of these aircraft. Another Duster. I don't think he needs another Duster at this moment. I think he could have gone for Battlecopters. Does strike the fighter. Duster hits the fighter. Does hit the Duster. Fighter survives. Anti-air infantry bike. And base skips and C keeps 4,000 funds. Rig advancing. We're trying to rig the game. Duster goes for fighter survives. Wayland's battlecopter finished off that unit. That 2 health Duster. Tank hits tank. Tank hits anti-air. Yep, now it's a good idea to start going for battlecopters. He has air supremacy at the moment. And needs ground support. Tank. Tank. No battlecopters this turn. And bike. He may want, let's see, 12 fuel, 20 fuel. He may want to join the 2 Dusters together just to get the fuel. I mean, it's just a 1 health Duster. Does take out the Duster there. The whale and the command dust is down to 12 fuel. That is not a lot. How much fuel does the dusters burn per turn? Is it 2 or 5? Guess we'll find out soon enough. They do burn 5, so he's down to 7 fuel. Luckily, there's a rig nearby to refuel it. Tanks just get some good strikes there. Duster takes out Duster. Tank hits anti-air. Tank hits anti-air. This Duster does not have enough fuel. Oh, joins them together. So now there's this refuel. Yep, it is indeed 5. I just never know, because it feels like props would probably have maybe a similar fuel consumption scheme as battlecopters, since they both have not jets. Anti-air does strike anti-air. Blocks the anti-air from hitting the battlecopter as well. Very nice. Both players that max out power charge. Of course, Tasha only has one battlecopter she could boost forward the superpower. So she needs more battlecopters, or maybe a Duster or a fighter. Goes another battlecopter. Bike. Both 19,000 versus 18,000. Another Duster on the field. Rig does deploy a temporary report in the center of the map. Join some tanks together. Artillery tank. Willen's not been skipping out on the tank game, so it looks like he's been using Dusters as anti-air and then just using tanks to engage with the bikes. So while Tasha's been going for bike, battlecopter, and tank, Willen does have 114% on 97, so Willen's about a full turn ahead. Battlecopter gets shot down, another Duster there. Rig resupplies the tank. Wins insurance 124,000 for 105. Yep, about a full turn advantage. Tasha does pull back her battlecopter. She wants to make her use her superpower, needs more battlecopters. Maybe a fighter or Dusters to engage the other Dusters. Well, anti-air is probably better at this moment. Let's go for a tank, anti-air, and another tank. Battlecopter mech, and another tank. You go for another infantry unit if you so chooses. Currently we have 3 Dusters, 2 battlecopters, a lot of bikes for those Dusters also hit, and strafe. We've got another battlecopter there. Nice thing about her superpower, +4 movement range could make her battlecopter reach very far. Creeping her way forward. Of course, there's a bit of seas here, which means Dusters can exploit flying over that. Pops the superpower, so Wayland activates his superpower. His aircraft are they are hyper bullet resistant. ATRs will probably do about at most 30% damage to them. Strafing around, he also has a battlecopter. Good amount of damage. He also has a bit of firepower bonuses along with everything. Tank, and bike. Yeah, if you take a look at the ATRs, here is a 9 health ATR to strike this Duster. Yeah. If it just assumes a full health one, let's just say it does 20% damage barring rock. Does take out tank there. It's a Duster. It's a Duster again. Tank hits tank. The Duster here does get trapped, but at least has one good target there and hitting that battlecopter. With those units here, does strike the command Duster here. However, like I said, basically bulletproof. Just bullet resistant. Tank. ATO does strike the squad at the radar station, takes out that tank there, frees the Duster, takes out battlecopter on the other side of it. Wayland's Duster does take out bike there, hits a tank. It's a bike. It's another bike. Battlecopter strikes battlecopter, Wayland's with the 25 energy. Duster strikes the battlecopter, bike hits bike, bike hits bike. Tank hits tank, a bit of a clean sweep on the side of the map. Battlecopter. Tank. Ends with 153,000 versus 93, so Wayland's about 2-3 turns ahead. Pops superpower, Sonic Boom, takes out tank there, hits the ATR. Of course, and resigns. This is Grade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. As mentioned beforehand, that shall be my last replay tonight, so everyone, thank you for watching,